Welcome back, Truth Seeker. January 30th, 2019. It's a Wednesday. I just want to let everybody know who's ever made a donation. What do they call it? A super chat. I let people know about a week ago that, how do I get rid of this? Excuse me. Let me get this all right here. I let people know about a week ago that out of all the people who'd made the donations, maybe it was a couple weeks ago now, so far none of that money had ever been paid by PayPal. As of yesterday, that changed. They finally sent me a payment, and I do believe that everyone's super chats that had ever been donated were there, even though a lot of them disappeared from the history of super chat donations. So thank you again to everyone who ever made a donation. I'm not going to take any phone calls right now. This person calling in, they might know I'm on a live stream. They might not. I just want to remind people, though, whether you're donating to me or somebody else, there's probably a better way to donate to that person than give them a super chat. I mean, it's very generous, and thank you very much. I appreciate it. Just realize when you donate through YouTube, they take at least 30% of the donation, which is a huge chunk. So, you know, and honestly, I'm just going to say, you guys, you don't need to donate to me at all. I'd rather you sign up for my Patreon for $1 a month. You know, I really would like to get 10,000 people there subscribed so I can hire somebody, maybe even hire 2 people. Might be able to hire 2 people with $10,000 a month coming through Patreon. A group of people committed to spreading this knowledge and research signed up at $1 a month. That can go a long way. So just wanted to give a little news there. I did get a payment from YouTube, which was for the donations that had been made. So thank you again. What I want to do in this video is call about this anti-BDS bill that the Senate passed Monday, and then they passed another bill following up even more related legislation yesterday. And we'll see. There's supposed to be another vote today. That information's not out. But if you missed this news, again, we talked about this at the beginning of the year. The first piece of legislation the U.S. went to work on to start 2019 in light of everything happening in the world was legislation to hurt businesses, essentially, that boycott Israel. Which, is that even a problem in this country? I mean, I don't see anyone boycotting Israel. But you just got to go. Why is that the first thing out of all the things happening in the world that the U.S. Senate and Congress wants to focus on? You know, people boycotting Israel. So anyhow, that legislation, it was voted on Monday, and it passed 74-19. And this legislation has a lot to do with the Jewish people. And is it any coincidence that it passed at 74-19 in light of what we know about the Jewish practice of Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words? Again, Lucifer 74, Jewish 74, Masonic 74, Occult 74, English 74, Gematria or Gematria 74. Jews, when they write out God, they write it G-D. G's the 7th letter, D's the 4th, 7-4. This whole practice of coding numbers into words is in tribute to God. It comes from Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism. The Book of Formation says God created the world by merging the letter with the number with the word. And lo and behold, when you become aware of this knowledge, you start to realize that our government is doing everything by this code every single day. This knowledge, or this vote was on the 28th, Israel 28. So anyway, Marco Rubio is the guy who's spearheading this legislation, you know, Mr. Small Hands. And what I want to do, I went here to senate.gov, and I got the list of how all the senators voted. So what I'm going to do from now until the time my lady calls to come pick her up for school is just start calling all of these Senate offices one by one and asking why this is what they're working on, why this is so important. And also, doesn't this pretty much violate, you know, what America's supposed to be about? Freedom of speech. Somebody wants to boycott Israel. Why should their business be punished? You know, of course, we know the answers to this. It's not that we're naive here, but we just want to hear it from the horse's mouth. see what we can get. So we'll start off by calling Marco Rubio's office. Call the DC office. Let me get this out here. 202. Hold on. 202-224-3041. Let me get that on speakerphone.
Thank you for calling Senator Rubio's Washington, D.C. office. If you would like to leave a comment about an issue, please press 1. To hear our office hours or location, please press 2. If you are interested in setting up a tour or requesting a flag, please press 3. If you need to speak with a member of our office, please press 4.
I did.
Thank you for calling the Washington, D.C. office of United States Senator Marco Rubio for Florida. Our normal business hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. If you are receiving this message within those hours, we apologize for the inconvenience as we are busy assisting other callers. If you are calling regarding the legislative issue, please leave your opinion and the zip code in Florida you are calling from after the tone. If you are calling to reach a specific staff member, please leave a detailed message after the tone and someone will be back to you shortly. If you are calling regarding casework, please call our Orlando, Florida office toll-free. That number is 1-866-630-7106. We would also encourage you to visit our website for timely updates at www.rubio.senate.gov. Thank you so much for calling and have a nice day.
Yes, I'm calling about the anti-BDS bill that Marco Rubio has spearheaded. The legislation's been passed in the Senate January 28th and yesterday, Tuesday the 29th. I just want to know why at the beginning of 2019, out of all the things going on in this nation, why the U.S. Senate is so focused on protecting Israel. Why is that so paramount? And does Marco Rubio himself believe that this legislation is a violation of the First Amendment? I mean, why shouldn't we have the right to boycott Israel? Isn't there a good reason? You know, isn't Israel tormenting the people of Palestine? You know, isn't Israel arguably a terrorist nation? The biggest violators of the Geneva Convention? I mean, we already send Israel $38 billion, you know, plus who knows what else. Gift them their military. How much more do we need to do for Israel? Why is Israel the priority while there's so many people in the United States, you know, who can't afford the basic necessities of life? Why don't we invest money and time and energy in revitalizing our poorest communities, the people who are struggling here? So love to hear Marco Rubio's feedback. Number's 509-731-0567. Thank you so much. Well, it's no fun talking to the voice recorder, but the good news is we got 73 more senators to call. So we should get through to some of these people. We can go alphabetically. Let me see. Of course, Cantwell voted. I'm in Washington State. I just want to see. Oh boy. They both. Let me just call my local offices. We'll call these other people too. We'll call here. All right, Maria Cantwell.
Senator Campbell's office, how can I help you?
Yes, I wanted to know why she voted yes for the anti-BDS legislation and why that's such a priority to start 2019.
I don't believe I know that they voted to move forward in the procedural process. I don't think they've had the formal vote on the legislation.
Well, why even vote to move it forward? I mean, why is this such an important matter? Okay. And I'd like to tell you something interesting while I got you on the phone. Monday, when they had this vote, there were 74 votes to move it forward, including the votes of Cantwell and Murray, the senators here in Washington State. And 74 is a very special number to the Jewish people. Obviously, this legislation has to do a lot with Israel and the Jewish people. Jewish mysticism, Kabbalah, are you familiar with it?
I am not.
So Jewish mysticism, Kabbalah, it's very important to sects of certain Jews. It involves the practice of coding numbers into words. And the English language is built on this code just like Hebrew is. If you take the alphabetic order, A is 1 up to Z is 26, and you write out the word Jewish, if you write out the word occult, if you write out English, if you write out Gematria, if you write out holiday, if you write out Independence Day, they all sum to 74. And I see these kind of riddles all the time in the votes that are done in the Senate, in the Congress, and they get the right amount to abstain, so they match up with their magic numbers. I just wonder if all of our senators are puppets on strings of Israel and corporations and bankers. I mean, it seems that responsible senators should have shut this legislation down. I mean, here in Washington State, we have a lot more pressing things than what's going on in Israel. Look at South Seattle. I mean, talk about a community that needs resources. So I don't understand how, here in Washington State, the senators can be, at all interested in what's going on in Israel when we have a lot more pressing things here at home. And I would love a call back from the senator and see if she knows anything about this code of Gematria and things in Washington being done by the numbers again and again and again. And I appreciate your time.
Yeah, if you give me your zip code, I can pass that along. And if you'd like a response, our policy team is happy to respond to you if you write in or submit a comment online through the website.
Okay, I'll have to check out the website.
And what is your zip code?
98901.
All right, perfect. I will pass that along.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for calling.
All right, bye. Yeah, that is true. So far, it's just the vote to move it along, but they could shut it down. They could just say, no, we don't need to vote on this. I mean, this violates the First Amendment. I mean, who cares about Israel? We got more pressing things. Why even vote to push it forward? They could just kill it. So might as well be a vote in favor of it. Let's try Senator Murray. There we go.
Thank you for calling United States Senator Patty Murray's regional office located in Yakima, Washington. Currently, Senator Murray and her staff are unavailable to take your call at this moment. So if you would please leave your name, phone number, and a message, we will return your call as promptly as possible. If you are in need of immediate assistance, please call the Seattle office at 1-866-481-9186. Thank you and have a great day.
Hi, this message is for Senator Murray. I want to know why she found it so important at the beginning of this year, 2019, to help pass along this legislation that's leading up to a vote, the anti-BDS bill to protect Israel from boycotts. I just want to know how her and other senators can possibly think that is such an important and pressing issue to begin the year in light of everything else that's going on. And I mean, Senator Murray, her office is here in Yakima, Washington, where, what is it, about 1 in 4 students? It's not even that. It's more like 1 in 6 is at grade level. I mean, there's just so many things wrong in this nation. Yakima's a shining example. And we're here focusing on Israel. a nation that we give tens of millions of dollars to daily, weekly, monthly, billions, annually. You know, what more do we need to do for Israel? We gave them their air force, their military. We let them be a terrorist state. You know, why do we fund a terrorist state? Why do we protect a terrorist state and neglect our own problems here at home? It is a real shame. Senator Murray should be ashamed of herself. Give me a call back, please. 509-731-0567. Thank you. Yeah, Yakima, Washington is like, it's a bad news. It's a bad news location. And, you know, these people are supposed to be representatives. You know, Senator Murray, in light of what she's around, she should be focused on education and doing something about how horrible it is in this nation. Of course, that's not what our politicians are here for. They're here to control us, maintain us. Stupid people are a lot easier to control. Yakima is probably a shining example of exactly what they want in the U.S. Let's see here. Maybe we should call Chucky Schumer, huh? I don't know if going alphabetically is as fun as calling the people who really need a call. Chuck Schumer, of course he voted. I didn't even need to check. Oh, God. Look how many offices these senators have. Just think about how much money is just spent on these assholes that don't do anything for us. What is the best number to contact this guy? Probably this DC number. All right, let's see here.
Hi, Senator Schumer's office. How can I help you?
Yes. Is Chucky there?
I'm sorry, the senator's not at his desk, but I'm happy to pass along a message for you.
Yeah, I would be grateful if you could do that. Could you please ask him why it's so important to forward this legislation, the anti-BDS bill? Why are we focused on Israel to start 2019 in light of all that we already do for Israel and in light of all that's neglected here in the United States of America?
I could pass that message along to the senator. May I please have your zip code?
Yes, it's 98901.
98901. Well, thank you so much for your call, sir, and I'll be sure to pass this message along.
Thank you so much. If you guys have been around here, I've called a lot of Congress people, senators over the years. I've never gotten a call back. I've never gotten a single response back. You know, but I wonder what would happen if, you know, the whole nation was phoning in, letting them all know. Letting them all know we're not going to have it anymore. Fortunately, we live in this world where, you know, you're not too careful with your words. They got all sorts of laws on the books. Come lock you up as a terrorist. You know, that's the thing that doesn't make sense as America. We're supposed to have, you know, these rights as a citizenry that if our government, you know, becomes corrupt and doesn't serve us anymore, we're supposed to have the right to abolish it. But of course, we have to go through our representatives to make that happen. But then when the representatives don't represent us, you know, it doesn't work. That's what I mean. It's revolution or bust here in the U.S. It's revolution or bust. all these people who didn't vote, you know, it's because the reason they didn't vote is because the vote was 74 to 19, 93 total votes. You know, they were going for that. That's the number in Israel. Israel's borders were drawn up on September 3rd. Let me call Cory Booker's office and see if he has a reason why he abstained from the vote. Cory Booker, puppet on strings. We saw him doing everything news by the numbers with the whole Kavanaugh process. That giant puppet show.
Hello, this is Cory Booker, and thank you for calling. To leave a comment or suggestion for me, please press 1. If you'd like to speak with a member of my staff, please press 2.
Good afternoon, Senator Booker's office.
Yes, is Cory Booker in?
Yes, he is. But you're not in the office right now.
Could I speak to him?
He's not at his desk right now. He's voting in the Capitol.
Okay, are they voting on the anti-BDS thing?
I believe they already voted on it. Yeah.
Do you know how he voted today?
Give me 1 second. Let me check. I know he voted no last night on the motion to proceed, but let me see if they voted against today. Sure. So, sorry. It looks like they didn't. I can read you the latest update because the Senate has adjourned. They'll return on Thursday at 10 a.m. to resume consideration of S1. So they didn't end up voting on it. I guess they had debate today on it, and they're going to be voting on it on Thursday, 3:30 p.m.
Okay, so I was trying to find the results today because I heard they were supposed to vote today, and I couldn't find it. So.
Yes, there were no votes. They just debated. Different senators came up and spoke about it. They didn't vote though.
Do you know why he didn't vote on Monday?
He was not in town. He was attending a funeral.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and then he came in on earlier Tuesday morning and was there to vote yesterday when he voted no.
Okay. Is he planning to vote no tomorrow?
I'm not sure. I wish I had more information, but all I know is that he voted no yesterday on it. So I'm not sure if something's planning to change tomorrow, but he's already voted no, so probably he'll continue to do that.
Okay. Well, I hope he continues to vote no. I was curious where he was at because it's interesting that he missed Monday, and it's curious that such a large number of senators found the will to vote yes on this. It blows my mind how much we do for Israel as a nation, the amount of money we give them, the amount of military support that we allow them to be the greatest violators of the Geneva Conventions in the world, what we allow them to do to Palestine. And now that our Senate feels that we need to have an anti-boycott movement of Israel, I feel like there's real reason to boycott what is going on in Israel. And I feel that as an American, this is a violation of the First Amendment, freedom of speech. And what it honestly feels like to me is, the closest, we always like to talk about how evil Nazi Germany is in this country. The closest thing to Nazi Germany right now in this world is Israel and what they do to the Palestinians. So it's almost as if a nation at the time would have an anti-boycott bill of Nazi Germany in light of what's going on in Israel. It's a real shame that this is taking place in the United States. And I'd really like to, I've called a lot of senators' offices, and I just had a feeling that if there's any senator out there I could actually talk to, it might be Cory Booker. He seems to be the most real and genuine. I don't know if that's all an act or a show, but I really would like to talk to a senator about what's going on. And if you could leave him my number, and if he finds the time, I would really appreciate a call back.
So unfortunately, due to our office policies, we do have 9 million constituents. We're not able to, to make calls back. But if you want to go on our website at booker.senate.gov and leave your contact information there, someone from our team would be happy to reach out to you. And I can also give you the email address if you want to try to set up a meeting, over the phone or in one of our Jersey offices. So that's good for you, to discuss this too.
So there's a question. I'm on the other side of the country. I'm in Washington State. Is it possible to set up an appointment? I would fly out there if I could meet and talk with one of these senators about what I see going on. Is that possible to set up a meeting with Cory Booker in his office?
I mean, you can certainly put in a request for it. I will say that we do give preference to New Jersey constituents, obviously, to Senator Booker to represent them. So it just depends on his schedule and availability, but you definitely should, reach out and, try something up. And I would also encourage you to reach out to your senator as well. They probably have offices in your state. If you want to travel just there to meet your senator, they should be open and accessible too. So I'll give you that email address for you. It's just scheduler. So SCHEDULER.
Scheduler at what?
Booker. Senate.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All right, take care. Yeah, it's just always the same runaround. These people are impossible to reach. You cannot meet with these people, and what is it to talk to their assistants? I mean, that doesn't get you anywhere. It's just the wall between them and the people that are supposed to represent us. So, and obviously, I don't really think Cory Booker's a real genuine guy. I was just trying to see if I could schmooze my way in there, but I know he's a puppet on strings. We've documented a million times. All these senators and politicians are. And again, the real reason for me to even do this live stream and call is just to remind people. You call and you just see. I mean, you're not really getting through anywhere. Oh, yeah, we'll leave our message. You can send in an email. Yeah, our team will get back to you. With what? Some automated message, even if they even do get back to you. But yeah, we don't have a government that represents us. We have a government that serves powerful interests, and there's no way for us to hold them accountable. And somebody will say, yeah, you can. Uh-oh, my camera just froze. Shoot. Here, I'll fire up a new camera. But people will say, yeah, you can. You just go vote. You vote them out, you vote them in. And it's like, no, BS. The whole voting thing is rigged. You don't vote these people in. If you're not on my Patreon, we decoded the election before it happened. We got nearly every race right, including that Kyrsten Sinema race in Arizona. We showed why Kyrsten Sinema was a shoo-in, and look at how it all went down with Kyrsten Sinema. She lost the election, and then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, whoa! All these absentee ballots just came in out of the blue. Why were there so many absentee ballots in Arizona? But all of a sudden, just so many came in, and then all of a sudden, she just, and next thing you knew, she won the election. And at first, I was surprised. I was like, wow, I can't believe she's not going to win. She had the perfect numbers to win. But then that happened. I said, there you go. Told you it was rigged for her. And let's see, how did Kyrsten Sinema? I'm sure she voted for it. Where's she at? Oh yeah, of course she did. So anyway, let me go to the chat. Should I just keep doing this, or should I end the live stream? I mean, I was going to call them all, but the more I do it, the more I want to start the revolution and get off the phone and go set places on fire. Let me see what's going on in the chat out here. Yeah, and then McSally got in anyway because of what else ever went on in Arizona, right? Somebody says, keep going, keep calling him. Call Ron Wyden down in Oregon. God, I hate that guy. What a creep. I don't know how to make bombs. Sometimes I regret that I didn't go in the military because I wish I did have some of that know-how. These are things you probably shouldn't say, but I don't have any skills like that. So the closest I've come to military action is playing paintball. Let's see. Who can we call? Who can we call? Oh, Dianne Feinstein. Yeah, old Feinstein. What did we called Dianne Feinstein recently, and of course we didn't get a call back. Oh, yeah, we called Dianne Feinstein about the San Francisco mayor who was assassinated that she replaced by the numbers. Wasn't that nice? Well, we know why Bernie voted no. Hey, here, I'm going to piss off half the chat right now. You guys, I hate politics. I've never voted in my life because I've seen what a fraud it was since I was 17. I was 17 when Bush Gore went down in 2000. So I never voted. I was a big Ralph Nader supporter when I was younger, but then I even started to get curious about Ralph Nader. I asked him a question at one of his rallies, and he scorned me. And I was like, well, maybe I don't like Ralph Nader so much. Jeez, come on, Ralph. But even though I hate politics and I see what a system and lie and deception it is and how it's two heads of the same coin, what I've always observed is the way the two parties vote. And I really don't know. And I'll say it again. I understand how people can vote for the Democrats. I really do. I understand how people can vote for the Democrats because 9 times out of 10, they're going to be on the more right side of the issue than the Republicans. Just like this thing right here that I'm calling about. I'm telling you. They're all corrupt. They're all sellouts. But if you still look at the way votes go, the Democrats are usually on the right side of things. The Republicans are more on the wrong side of things, just like this thing. This is no exception or no different. But both parties are horrible. They don't represent us. You know, the Democrats are pretty much spineless cowards that will just always pretend like they're the opposite of the Republicans. But then when they're running the show, they just do things just like the Republicans. So, but I will remind you again, the ratios in these votes, it's the way it always is. You look at the way an issue is, you know, like immunity for the telecom companies. That was probably the biggest thing I ever saw in my lifetime, given these telecom companies keeping all of our records. More Democrats were against that. You know, Republicans weren't against it at all. So, you know, I don't want to make it sound political and partisan, but I am stating facts. You go back and look through the major issues over the years, and the way the vote ratios break down is what I'm pointing to. Okay, so who are we calling here? We're going to call Ron Wyden in Oregon. Did he vote yay? Of course he did. Who's the other Oregon senator right now? I can't think. Oregon's my home state. That's where I'm originally from. I lived in Washington for my adult life, though. Oh, yeah, Jeff Merkley. Let's call the creeper Ron Wyden. Hold on, let me see if I have anything else to talk about with Ron Wyden while I call in there. Really? I never wrote anything about Ron Wyden on my blog? It's hard for me to believe. This search thing, it doesn't work as well as it used to. There's too many posts. There's got to be something on there about Ron Wyden. Oh, well, we'll just call about the topic at hand. Ron Wyden. Oh, Ronnie. Sorry for all of you experiencing the cold temperatures. I just picked up my phone out of text. Somebody said it's negative 14 here. I can't imagine. I've never had to live in that. Let's see. Okay, here we go.
Hello, you've reached the office of Senator Ron Wyden. Our regular business hours are Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you've reached this message during these hours, we are on the other line assisting constituents. Please leave us a message and we will return your call just as soon as possible. Thank you.
Hi, this message is for Ron Wyden. I want to know why he is entertaining this bill, the anti-BDS bill to start 2019. I'm calling every senator asking the same question. Out of all the things happening in the United States of America that deserve the attention of our elected officials, how can it be Israel that's getting it to start the year? You know, we have an obesity crisis. We have an education crisis. We have so many problems in this nation, and here we are focusing on Israel and taking away the right to boycott Israel as if anybody's even doing that anyway. You know, it just doesn't make sense. Israel. Why are we... Can Ron Wyden please call me back and tell me why we do so much for Israel? I mean, tens of millions of dollars a day. You know, we provide them with military equipment. We turn the cheek as they continue to be the biggest violators of the Geneva Conventions. You know, we act like it's not horrible what they're doing to Palestine. And now we're taking away the voice of the American people, you know, who object to what's going on. Why? Why? You know, I grew up in Oregon. I've never seen anybody boycotting Israel anywhere. You know, I grew up in a bad neighborhood, Northeast Portland. Saw crack needles all over, shootings, you know, car accidents. You know, look at the schools in Northeast Portland right now. No funding for even to keep up the property. And you know, Ron Wyden's worried about Israel. I mean, come on, come on. So give me a call back, Ronnie. You're not representing us. Terrible job. Who else can we call? What's the other guy's name? Merkley. Jeff Merkley. Sorry, I'm in the Pacific Northwest. I'm calling my people first. Jeff Merkley, Senator. Phone number. What is it? All right, let's try it. Jeff Merkley.
U.S. Senator Jeff Merkley's office. How can I help you?
Yes. Is Jeff Merkley in by chance?
Do you have a message for the senator that I can convey for you?
I do. I want to know why Jeff Merkley is, you know, entertaining this anti-BDS bill to start 2019. I find that quite concerning as a U.S. citizen. Israel is a nation that we do a lot for, more than they deserve. Tens of millions of dollars a day. You know, we help them out with their military. We let them violate the Geneva Conventions. We let them torment the people of Palestine. And now Jeff Merkley wants to help sponsor a bill and legislation so that we can't boycott what's going on. When who's even boycotting Israel anyway? I mean, this is a joke. There's so many things that need attention and resources in this nation, and here we are doing more for Israel. You know, so...
Right, and if you're referring to Senate Bill 1, Senator Merkley has expressed his opposition to that piece of legislation, and if you disagree with the senator on that, I'm happy to convey your thoughts to him.
Oh, really? He does? Well, why did he vote then to forward it instead of help shut it down?
I'm not entirely sure that's accurate. He expressed his opposition to that bill.
Okay, well, I'm looking right here. Monday, he voted yay to move it forward.
Okay, well, I'll look into that and appreciate your flagging that for us.
Yeah, and you know, I've seen senators do this a lot. I remember Barack Obama when he was senator. He was on the campaign trail saying that no way could we give immunity to telecommunication companies. That was going to violate our rights. But then how did he vote? He voted for immunity. I told people back then, I said, what a fraud this guy is. You're seriously going to vote for this guy for president? So I know these senators talking out of both sides of their mouth, and I find it alarming that you work in this man's office and you don't even know how he voted. Maybe he's going to vote no on the vote tomorrow.
Hold on. Can I get you to confirm your zip code before I register your comment?
Yeah, 98901.
Okay, thank you for the call.
All right, take care. At least that guy sounded like he wasn't asleep. Oh, shit. My fault, you guys. He did vote nay. Oh, well, he deserves to hear it anyway. Oh, man. All right, my bad. -1 point for me. You guys think Cory Booker was really at a funeral? I don't believe it. That woman we called, she said, oh, he didn't vote because he was at a funeral. Nice excuse. I believe that they had the 74-19 vote to get their nice Israel numbers. Again, 93 is the number that Israel rituals are around all the time. Israel was drawn up as a nation on September 3rd, 93. Knesset, their Congress over there, equals 93. They moved the capital, Jerusalem, on a date with 93 numerology. I think they just told 7 of these guys to stay home so they could have their nice numbers. Probably gave them a little memo. You're at a funeral today, Corey. That's your excuse. You know. Let's see. Chuck Grassley. There's a horrible guy. How do you vote? Of course he did. Duckworth. Miss Harris, who's running for president, voted no. She was you know, the actress by the numbers in the whole Kavanaugh process too. You gotta love the senator with the name Whitehouse. Whitehouse. I'm just trying to think about any of these other ones that are worth calling. I hate Chuck Schumer. I almost want to call him again. Just trying to see if there's anybody I really want to call. Jim Inhofe. There's another tool. Jim Inhofe. Whatever Big Energy wants, Jim Inhofe wants. Let's see. Mitch McConnell, the turkey gobbler. I'm going to call Kirsten Sinema's office. Let's try it out. Figure out how she spells her name. Something weird like this. Kirsten Sinema, phone number.
Senator Sinema's office.
Yes. Is she available?
I can take a message for her, sir.
Yeah, I would love a call back. So I educate people about how our government's a fraud. I was 17 years old when the 2011, or not the 2011, the 2000 presidential election happened between Bush and Gore. And I said, come on, people, what a fraud. The son of the last Republican president in a race that comes down to the state where his brother's the governor. And since then, I've just been speaking out about what a lie of a nation we live in. I now educate people about how our elections are rigged by the numbers. There's a code. It's a Jewish code. It's called Gematria. And I actually educated people about why Kirsten Sinema would win the election despite being a Democrat in Arizona. And a lot of people thought I was off my rocker. And a lot of people made fun of me on election night because it looked like Sinema was going to lose. But then out of nowhere, out of left field, all these votes just poured in for Kirsten Sinema. And next thing you knew, she was the winner. And I said, I told you people, she had the numbers for the seat. She was destined for the seat. And this has been going on for a long time. I'm not surprised at all to see that Kirsten Sinema is one of the 74 people to help pass along these vote that I guess they're having today or tomorrow, this anti-BDS bill, again, reminding us that we, the American people, are supposed to be on our knees for Zionist Israel. And let Kirsten Sinema know that, her days of shilling for the synagogue of Satan, they're going to come to an end for her and all these other senators that are selling out the American people. Israel is a terrorist state. We give them way too much money. We turn a cheek again and again. Like good Christians, we let this, Zionist nation violate the Geneva Conventions, destroy the lives of the people in Palestine. We give them tens of millions of dollars a day. And now those of us who are awake to the tyranny, we're supposed to be boycotted. We're supposed to lose more rights for speaking truth to power. So it just makes me sick as someone who is a senior in high school, who'd been lied to my whole life about what a great nation I live in. I just saw it all come so clearly when Bush was elected the president. And I just been watching all the aftermath ever since. And now here I am educating people about how the elections are rigged and calling who's going to win the seats by the numbers before it happens. And, you know, I'm calling your office.
Sir, we are, we're just getting a ton of calls here right now. Can I get your zip code in Arizona to pass on your comments?
I'm a former student at Arizona State University. So let her know from an ASU alum. We see through the fraud. She was born for the throne, and now she's serving Israel. It's a real shame.
Well, we'll let her know. Thank you for your call, sir. Okay, bye-bye.
And for the record, that's all factual. You know, we did decode and show how Kirsten Sinema, she was going to be the winner down in Republican Arizona. So, sound like he was real receptive to the message. We're getting a lot of calls. I got to go. These people are the worst. It's because they know there's nothing we can do. Well, at least that's what they believe. And that's what most of you believe too, right? You know, we've had this conversation on my radio show the last 2 weeks. Even my followers, you guys all seem to believe that there's just nothing we can do. I know that's not the truth. I mean, it's hard, but there is something we could do. We could all say, you know what? I'm helping take this government down today. I'm not going to work today. I'm helping take this government down today. I'm helping take this corrupt system down today. There's so many obstacles, I understand, but it's got to be done. I mean, this government does not serve us. It abuses us. Think about that. All the working people in this nation, roughly, on average, a third of our income goes to these corrupt government officials, you know, and the things they spend money on, and Israel and all that stuff. A third in taxes. That means 4 months out of the year that the average American's slaving away, that money is going to somebody other than themselves. And what are they getting back? What are they getting back? Paved roads? Guess what? In Saudi Arabia, people don't pay any taxes. They got paved roads. They got less potholes in them than we do. You know, of course, we pay for Saudi Arabia as well. Pay for all these nations. So, I mean, that's what Americans always say. We got roads. Who cares? We got roads? So what? So what? You got to go work 4 months out of the year to have roads? That's BS. You know, you guys know how much money we give to NASA every single day? Over $50 million a day. Look it up. It's actually closer to $60 million a day. Can you imagine? I mean, a lot of us come from crappy communities. Can you imagine if the government stopped by and said, you know what? Today, NASA's not getting their check. We're going to fix your community today. You know what else? We're going to save the 10 plus million we're sending Israel today. Today, that's going into your community. Can you imagine? And really, the government shouldn't have this much money to just throw around anyway. Imagine if we could just keep our own money. Then you wouldn't see Americans working until they're 70, 80 years old. How many of you guys have ever done an Uber and got picked up by an 80-year-old? Isn't that tragic? The guy's worked his whole life. Now he's got to drive for Uber. You know, he's got to drive you out for your nightly drinking rounds, drive you down to the rigged ball game. I mean, my parents are nearly 70. They're going to work until they die. They're not going to retire. They've been working their whole lives. They could probably retire if they hadn't paid away, you know, a third of their income their whole life in taxes. And it's true for almost everybody's family. So the things we have to do as a people, these are the things we have to do. We have to restore local agriculture. That has to happen because we can't actually do anything until we have that. We'll kill ourselves. It'll be a suicide mission. You know, if we tear down the infrastructure that's in place, we're all dependent on our food being shipped in from all over. We're dependent on grocery stores. You bring chaos to this system, we're all going to starve to death. We're going to be eating each other, you know? So it's like there has to be this realization that we're living in this slave state and we have to organize. It's like this. There has to be a mission like this, a big campaign, like the Get Woke campaign. What we're going to do is we're all going to start figuring out how to grow food no matter where we are, whether we live in the concrete jungle or you know, out in rural communities. And really, I think that's what has to happen too. There's just so much open rural land. I think we need to start like bringing back tribes, you know. I live out in rural Washington State right now. There's this huge 54-acre lot that's for sale. Still up for sale. There's the guy's got some plywood up with some spray paint. 54 acres for sale. It's not like he's some commercial company, some bank selling it. But every time I drive by it, and I really do need to call this guy. Part of the reason I haven't, I've been saying this now for months, still up for sale. I hate doing things and then having nobody come behind it. Just like feels even more defeated. I need to do it anyway. But for example, imagine that we buy this 54-acre lot. You know, a bunch of us come together and we say, yeah, I want to get into this like idea. But we set up this community. 54 acres is a lot of land. You set up a community there. We all you know, maybe we all live in one of these eco-friendly round dome things. Have you guys seen these? They cost like $30,000. Just set it up. It's enough space to live in. You know, it's supposed to be good for all seasons. We around our 54 acres, we make like a circle of these or something. And then just right in the middle, we grow a lot of food. And every day we grow up and we know, or we wake up and we know who our community is. And we know what we got to do for the day. We got to take care of our plot of land. We got to protect our land. We got to make sure our food's growing. But again, what's the problem with this? We live in this world where our crazy government is spraying crap up in the sky and controlling the weather and bringing through severe weather. You guys see what's been happening like in the transition from winter to spring recently? It's like getting real warm in February, and then it drops back down to freezing cold, which screws up all the plant life, makes the birds hatch early, and then they're all dead. It's just like there's so many obstacles. But even though there is, it's like you still got to just do it anyway. You got to get back on this sensible path and figure out how to get free from this system. I suppose if instead of having just a big open field of food, if you build like some massive greenhouse or have a bunch of greenhouses, I guess then you can preserve it better. Then the chemical crap's not raining down on it, and then severe wind comes in or whatever, you know, then I guess that's how you have to do it. You have to do it in a greenhouse. But all of these things need to be done. Where I live now in Washington State, a lot of you guys, when you think of Washington, you think of rain and greenery. You don't realize that where the mountains run through the middle of the state, the other side of the state is not green and rainy. It's desert. And there's a lot of sun here. And for example, where I live gets over 300 days of sunshine a year. It gets cold because it's high desert, but it really would be a great place to set up a sustainable community, because you could have, again, like I said, you could have a bunch of those like eco houses. You could have great agriculture. This is an agricultural town. You could have solar energy, you know, things that can make you independent, because that's what you need, right? I guess you don't even really need energy. Just look at the Amish. But so many of us are used to having energy. It's got to happen. This is the only way forward I see. And then once enough people are on these sustainable, independent systems, you know, the system that's been built around us, it doesn't work. It doesn't function the same anymore. It can't function without us being dependent on it. They don't want people, you know, being agriculturally independent. They don't want that. They don't want people being self-sustainable. They want us dependent on their power companies, their food, their grocery stores, their government. But just imagine how much better it could be. Your own local food, your own community of people that you actually know working together towards a common purpose. This is the way the world used to be, you know. And isn't it funny? Like if you're my age or younger than me, I'm sure you guys got the same conditioning, but we were always reminded in school, like, you know, agriculture and farmers, those were lowly things. That's the old world. You know, that's not good. You want to go to college and get indoctrinated, you know. You don't want to be a farmer. But really, you think about it, it's like, man, you should want to know how to take care of your land, how to grow food. These are actually some of the most fundamental things about this world. And again, it's all programming. It's all mind control and mind conditioning. So I'm just so tired of it all. Got to do something. I'm about to shut off this live stream and go drive over and call that phone number and see how much that plot of 54 acres costs. I'm guessing it costs us a mint, but you know, if you got enough people to come together and say, okay, we're all going to go in on this together, we're going to make this happen. It could happen. The obstacles would be infiltrators. You know, there's going to be people trying to infiltrate that community. What do you do about them? But you can't let the obstacles deter you, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, you can grow hydroponically. I know all about that. I used to have a little farm of my own. Geothermal, yeah, geothermal, another thing. Out here in Washington State, water's not a problem. We got rivers and stuff, so Washington's one of the better places to be in the world in terms of resources. Let me see if this person's calling in for the live stream. Could be just somebody calling in for something else. What's up, caller?
Hey, I would like to ask you a very good question, sir.
Please.
What in the world do you think it's going to take for Americans to overthrow the government without it being violent?
Well, so that's what I've been talking about on my radio program the last 2 weeks. Can we do this without violence, first of all? And overwhelmingly, my callers say it has to be nonviolent, and I know where they're coming from, but I still question if it's realistic to overthrow the government without violence. It would take tens of millions of people participating, saying, "Okay, I'm not paying any taxes this year. I'm not going to work. I'm not consuming." But these are, I mean, this is not a realistic thing for the average American. The average American lives paycheck to paycheck. Again, they have no local agriculture. They don't have any community. They have no network. So it's like it has to be created and it has to be built. And something like that is going to take time. But it's like, man, the time is now. This has to happen now. It's getting worse day by day. How far?
Oh, I know. And you know how it's getting worse? I study law. I'm here in Ohio, okay? Law student. I have been doing many research on many states, and they are literally using legislation. They are using bills. Actually, in New York with the last abortion law, it's happening also over there in Virginia and in Vermont. They are legalizing the crimes that they are doing, whether it be pedophilia, whether it be an abortion up to the date of birth. If we don't put a stop to this, we are going to be screwed. I mean, seriously, they're legalizing their crimes in states to marry children as young as 14 years old in Minnesota, Michigan, down there in Dearborn. Holy crap. We need to, they're taking over our country. I don't give a crap if people don't get paid. I mean, do you want to lose your country or do you want to lose a couple weeks worth of paychecks?
I hear you. I think you're right on. And sadly, for most people that they're listening and they're saying, I can't lose a couple weeks of paychecks. I'll be homeless. So it's going to have to take that kind of consciousness. It's going to have to take people saying, I'm willing to be homeless. And how many people are willing to do that? That's definitely a rare quality in humanity. So
we've got to do something. We've got to rise up, people. I mean, you need to wake up because you know what? It's the worst is yet to come. Trust me in that. I'm studying law. And I'm telling you right now, with everything that I'm seeing in legislation in every city, in every state, I'm telling you, they're legalizing all this pedophilia. They're legalizing all these murdering of children. They are legalizing it all. They're taking away, down in Texas, they're banning Bibles. I know that all this stuff is in the Bible. If you just read a Bible, it literally tells you what's going to happen.
Texas has a lot of influence over what's in textbooks, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to ban books in my library at my college. I'm like, oh no, you don't.
Right.
It took one voice in the college to make a difference. Just one. Just look at us. Look at us as a whole. It would take one person to get media coverage to rise up. One person is all it takes. They're demonetizing YouTube. They're taking away your voice. I mean, our First Amendment has already been taken away, basically.
Absolutely, it has. I mean, free speech zones, all the stuff going on ever since September 11th. What is your solution? Do you have an idea what we should do? What you just said about taking over the media, that's something I've said for a lot of years. If we could just take over the media and get out the agenda, it would have a big impact. That's a hard thing to do, but is that
I'll tell you what we need to do. You need to get a really good buddy that is on your local news station. It would take one local news station, one person that knows somebody on the inside, and you tell it like it is, and then it'll go viral.
You're right.
It just takes One station.
You know what? Where I live now, in the middle of nowhere, the local news station is literally right around the corner, and I keep thinking if I should go in there. But I should try. I don't have any buddies there. I don't know anybody in this town since I just moved here. But that news station is literally right around the corner. I could throw a rock and hit it. So
down here in Cincinnati, I got a good buddy. But let me tell you, I learned fast that he wasn't my buddy because it is bought and paid for even in a local. And I've known this guy for a decade. He came to our school. He taught the weather. And I'm like, dude, you got to get me in there talking to Channel 9 News.
It's
like, he was like, well, what's your agenda? And I told him,
right.
I need to have this said. And he was like, can't do it.
What would really have to happen to get through probably to any news station is go in there like you're going to rob a bank and just hijack the news and get the message out. And then hopefully it goes viral because you're probably going to be doing some serious time for getting the word out. But it is almost like some people have to start willing up and taking those kind of those measures to make it happen. I mean, there's got to be something. So I agree. We got to get our voice on the news and it go viral. It would have a huge impact.
I'll tell you what, you could look it up. I did a march, okay, with Roger Stone, okay? He's a longtime friend of Donald Trump. I know Roger Stone personally, all right? Went down there, Washington, D.C., 2016. We didn't think that Trump was going to get in there. It was a march called March for America. We all got on social media. We tried to get big numbers out there because we know we're big-numbered people the media follow. If we have a movement like that, that's all we would need because they love the masses. They want to be the first to report on it. We've got to rise in numbers. Literally, that's the only thing it's going to take besides local news. We've got to stand up.
Yeah.
I mean, use your platform. You can actually make a date, have people show their receipt of how they're going to travel there to show that you're not wasting your time, your effort, your money. Have the proof in the pudding. And this person could say, I bought my ticket here. And just take a screenshot of it. Email it to you. Show that your time is valuable. If you're going to go up there, because I am 100% behind you, because you do brilliant work. You've educated me in Gematria. The sick crap that I have found is disgusting. I thank you for all you do, because you have woke up masses of people. Use your platform. Try to create some type of movement, and I am 100% backing you. And I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I will go wherever you want us to go in the masses to where we can get media attention, that we need to wake this country up before they overtake us, even worse than what they already have.
I really appreciate your voice and message, and something's going on in Ohio because a lot of my best followers are from Ohio and also New York, and Cincinnati too. A lot of people are from the Cincinnati area. I think you're in a good spot. There must be something in the water or something, but you're absolutely right. And
you know what's in the water? We back Trump 100%. And anybody that damns Donald Trump, it makes me so mad because you know what? Did you forget that election night and what we were up against? You know, Donald Trump is around a lot of evil, and he is well aware of his son-in-law. And don't think that doesn't break his heart about Ivanka. Jared is doing a lot of bad shit. He knows that he didn't take away his security clearance for no reason. He knows damn well what Jared's doing. If we lose Donald Trump, we will for sure lose our butts. And you better believe that crap, because Donald is around a lot of evil out there in Egypt. Melania Trump was interviewed, and she was even asked, does your husband work around a lot of people that you don't trust? And she said, oh, yes. Look at that woman's eyes. Those people fear. 14 assassination attempts on the president, and I know of 5 of them, guarantee it.
What do you think about what Roger Stone said yesterday about how the Russia investigation is like a speeding bullet moving towards Trump's head?
The only thing that I can speak on, because me studying law, can't talk a lot about Roger Stone, but I can tell you this. When he gets that media coverage, and he's going to blow one sentence out of the water that's going to wake people up in the masses, and it has to do with pedophilia.
All right.
He's disgusted with it all.
I appreciate it, caller. Thank you so much for your voice.
Well, thank you so much, and I'm going to get back in the chat, and I love every one of you out there, and please, for God's sake, support Donald Trump, because he's the only man you've ever witnessed that stepped up to the plate, and buddy, he's swinging.
All right, I appreciate it, caller.
Thank you.
All right, you have a good day. All right, we got somebody else phoning in. What's going on?
What's up, Zach?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I see people like Lee Bob 86 and this last caller, Cincinnati. I like their enthusiasm, and there's a lot of people upset in the chat like they should be, and this is a good time to plug our cards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So for people out there, this is Rich on the phone. It is Rich, right?
Yes, this is Rich.
I have the phone turned away from me so I couldn't see. So Rich spreads the word about this knowledge on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, or even if you're not, you can create a dummy account. You don't need to use Facebook, but you can make an account with a fake name. If you go to Facebook and in the search type Daily Dose of Gematria and get in contact with Rich, he runs the page. He's getting people boxes of 500 cards with the knowledge of Gematria just to spread the word. So if you're interested in getting one of those boxes of cards, contact Rich. He'll hook you up. You get 500 nice business cards.
You want to show him the card, Zach? Do you want to show him what the card looks like?
Okay. How can I do that through the computer screen right now?
Just go to Daily Dose. It's our cover photo.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you did that. All right, let me check. Okay, Daily Dose of Gematria. So you do it just like this. Right here. Oh, okay, and the business card's up at the top. So I see you put my name on it, which was nice of you. But
Yeah.
I guess I am kind of leader of this movement. But again, really, it's just to get the knowledge out there. So.
You know, like the caller's name is Cincinnati, right? The lady that was just on the phone.
Right.
She could get 500 business cards and go give them to that media outlet. She could pass them out to people in restaurants. She can give them to people on the streets. All of us can. If we had a few people from all 50 states handing these business cards out, well, then we're going to become even stronger. And that's my whole goal. We've only sold a few boxes so far, but after shipping and tax, it costs $17.90. You inbox Rich or any of the admins on Daily Dose of Gematria, ask for the business cards, and within 10 minutes, once I get PayPal $17.90, you have 500 business cards on the way to your doorstep.
Very cool, Rich. I appreciate you doing this.
Well, I know you appreciate it, Zach, but what I appreciate seeing is these angry fans in the chat and what's $17 to help get this word out.
I agree. I know that it's hard to get people to invest just from trying to sell the book now for more than a year. But
Right.
Yeah, so I hear you, man.
I just hope that maybe get a few of those sales in today. We're not making no money off that. This is all for Zach. This is all for the movement. You know, again, I can't stress. Just imagine even 3 people in each state handing out 500 cards. We're covering ground then. We're making noise. My goal is for someone to knock on your door, Zach, to give you a card.
Yeah.
That's how, you know what I mean?
That would be awesome. All right, Rich. Again, everybody, the page is Daily Dose of Gematria at Facebook, and Rich is the man to ask for.
I appreciate it, Zach. We're doing what we can here, brother, and I'll let you get to the next caller.
All right, thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
What's up, caller?
Hey, Zach.
Yeah?
Hey, you can't leave by yourself. You know that. You know, there's a lot of wolves out there in sheep's clothing. You know what I'm saying? So you know you can't lead by yourself.
Of course not.
So all these people saying you can lead and lead by yourself. You know, you'll be a target right away. You're already a target. How many times they took you out of they took you out of YouTube and all that stuff. So they know what they're doing. And I got your book. I made like 3-4 copies, gave it to my brothers and stuff. I tried to get them to buy it, but they're a bit cheap. You know, so just want to let you know, you can't lead by yourself, and be careful.
Well, I appreciate your message. I absolutely know that. We need numbers. We need a lot of people to step up, and we need to form a community and begin to work together.
Yeah, you saw the history repeats, right? Excel, right? So when you lead, right, these leaders, right, what happened to them? Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, JFK, and the list goes on. So you already know, if you're in the front line, and you're the only one in the front line, you know what happens.
Hey, your signal broke up, so it's real distorted. But I'm hearing what you're saying about the leaders in the '60s who were all assassinated, and that's why it can't just be one person. So I completely agree, man. And I'm not trying to be the face and leader of the movement. I'm saying we need a lot of people to step up and work together and create a game plan and make some real change happen and get free of this system. So.
Well, you just be careful and just keep teaching us, all right?
I appreciate it, friend. Thank you. You have a good day. Yeah, I mean, it can't be just one person. That's for certain. Here, let's see what we got here. Hello, caller.
Hello. I'm calling from Minnesota. I have a possible idea on what we could do to spread the message, maybe. So I'm over here on Instagram. I got about 2,000 something followers, and we're talking about making some sort of movie with like a central message, right? Just getting a bunch of like familiar faces to get in this movie, and then we send this movie to various people with large followings that know like what we know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Use the networks that already exist.
What?
You're saying like use the networks that already exist.
Exactly, and send it to like maybe certain celebrities who have a large following that know what's going on.
So who would that include?
I don't know. Like, I haven't really gotten that far into it on like who we could send it to, but that's like a possible idea.
The one person in the news that I wonder who would help us, and I absolutely hate this person, but he's on Fox News and his name's Tucker Carlson, just because he keeps talking so much about the censorship online. And I'm thinking, can I get this guy to help me out? My content's been censored so many times, and same with the people who follow me. So maybe he would take up the cause. I doubt it, but I'm wondering if we all got on Tucker Carlson's Twitter and just blasted him about how Gematria is being censored on the web right now and how they've even taken down our calculator. If he would talk about it, probably not, but you don't know unless you try.
The more people you send this movie to, the more like likely we're willing to get someone to talk about it. You know what I mean? The more we just bring light to the topic, like I don't know how long it can be ignored for.
I agree. Well, my thought on that is, I thought when I started sharing this work 5 years ago, all these supposed truth channels on YouTube would help spread the word, and so far, almost none of them have. So,
exactly. I'm 17, and your like content has helped me a lot. Help me see through the truth a lot, and I'm like trying to spread it in my school too, and tell people. I only got one friend who knows like what's really going on too, and I think a lot of it has to do with the food. Like, because ever since I like woke up to this stuff, I stopped eating junk food, and it's given me like this mental clarity. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people just can't think straight.
You're 100% right, man. It's the food. I think the food is the foundation of all of our problems. And today I turned on CNN, and one of the top stories is that more people are buying McDonald's than ever. And I thought, God, how is that even possible? So
I know, it's like you are what you eat, and it's sad. Like people can't think straight because of it.
Great call, man. It's awesome that you're only 17. So good to be young, man.
Thank you for your work.
Yeah, you're welcome. You have a great day. Thank you. Yeah, when I was his age in high school, people used to make fun of me the way I ate because I ate mostly vegetables back then. And it was the FAG diet. That's what all my friends would say. But I'll tell you what, you look at my friends now, my hair's not so nice today, but I mean, I still have my hair. Almost all my friends, you know, they've gone bald. So food, it makes a big difference, you know, in terms of your health and your appearance and how long things last here. Let's go out to Denver, Colorado. What's going on, caller?
Hey, Zach, what's going on? It's Ike from Denver, Colorado.
Thanks for calling in.
No, just hitting you up, man. I know a lot of people are upset about all the Trump stuff. You know what I mean? I know you just had a guest on that was pro-Trump, and I just wanted to put my side in real quick. You know, there was a lot of promises made, and it's already going to be the 2020 election, and it still hasn't came to fruition, man.
Well, so the call.
You know how you feel about that. You know what side you're leaning towards.
Okay,
as
so
far as that goes. You know?
So the woman who called in and really liked Trump, I mean, she might like my work, but obviously she must not like what I think about Trump. I don't advocate for any government. I'm not a fan of Trump. I showed how the election was rigged for him. I understand why people are like him because he's not like a politician and he seemingly calls spades spades. But my whole message is this government has to go down. We're not going to get any elected official that's going to serve us. This government's bought and paid for. They don't represent us. Trump's part of the agenda. He was in Jerusalem on Jerusalem Day. He was at the Vatican by the numbers. He's an agent of the Illuminati. And I didn't want to argue with that caller just because the other thing she was saying I was agreeing with. And, I realize all sorts of people in this nation are into Trump. Again, the landscaper in this neighborhood, he's a nice man. He's got Trump bumper stickers all over his car. He's a decent human being. I'd happily live in a community with him, but obviously we disagree on politics. So I don't really want to fight with people over politics anymore. I just want to help people see that this whole government is a fraud and people need to stop investing so much hope and faith in it. And what politician doesn't not follow through on their campaign promises? That's what we get every time around, and not by accident. So it doesn't matter if it's Trump or some routine politician. I mean, once you're in that office, you're compromised.
Yeah, I see him just as a puppet, to be honest with you. I just wrote it in the chat. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a part of it. He's a part of that agenda. Like
I agree.
And anybody that gets in there, they're going to be charged. Even if he wasn't part of that agenda before the election, he's a part of it now. You know what I mean?
I agree. And he definitely was a part of it. Again, he's the winner of the 58th U.S. presidential election. It was forecast in a million different things, even decades before he took the office, from that old Western track down to Suddenly Susan episode that released on May 8th, 5/8, where he's the president of the United States. It was planned for many years in advance. He is a puppet on strings. He's part of this. He's owned by the bankers. The woman who just called in and was big on Trump, I don't want to, again, I'm just tired of fighting with people over politics. It's like, we need to get over our differences. If we realize that the nation's a mess and we need to get onto a better place, then we need to figure out how to just come together and get on the common line and make it happen. So
I do want to bring something up, Lo. I know he mentioned the Mexicans, like, you know what I mean, about the wall. I just want to bring, I don't want to really get into politics, but I do know that 98% of the people still trying to cross the border is from South America, and he didn't say that. He just said.
You cut out, but I heard the point you were making. He's saying Mexicans when a lot of them are from South America. Are you still there? Uh-oh, his call dropped. I heard the point he was making. Look, we all have different beliefs. My whole belief about this country is, honestly, and this pisses off a lot of people because the majority of the country feels completely different than I do. I honestly don't care about borders. I don't care where you're from. I don't care if you were born in America or not. The way I see it is America is a nation that was stolen from the people who lived here before. This nation was born out of a genocide. They came over here. They set up their Masonic nation. They gave rights to white men and nobody else. They genocided all the native people who lived here. And now they've built their, Masonic paradise, their heart of the New World Order military killing machine that spread Americanism all across the world, which is consumerism and perverted culture. And, to me, honestly, it's like these Mexican people trying to get over here, these even South American people. I feel like they have more right to the territory. As long as people aren't trying to kill me, I mean, there is something to being able to speak the same language and everything. I understand this mixing up a culture. Trust me, I get it. I'm just making a point about who really belongs here in the first place. Let's go out to Ohio. Ohio?
Hello.
Hi, you're on.
Yeah. Hey, real quick. The people that are watching you right now, if everybody wanted to do something, the people that are watching right now, everybody's got a cell phone, everybody's got a laptop, something.
Right.
Get your voice out. Be heard. Make a short video and put it on YouTube. That's the first thing, and be nice about it. I mean, like, get on there and threaten people, like, we're going to kill you and all this, but get your voice out and say, I don't consent, or, hey, I know this is going on, and,
Let's all do that right now as a group. Let's go to, because we can all just get on Twitter. People are hearing message on Twitter. Let's find Marco Rubio's Twitter, the guy who spearheaded this bill, and let's all let him know about our displeasure. If you don't have
you don't have to be nasty about it. You just say, hey, I know what's going on. This isn't right. This has got to stop. I don't consent.
Right.
It's everybody. I mean, I don't know how many times I've. Okay, you watch a truther's channel. You watch a video he puts up. You see all the comments. I go to and look at the people who made comments and go to their channel, and they have nothing.
Right.
They don't have any videos up. They don't have anything. It's like there's no videos here. Nobody's. Yet they're mad as hell and they've got something to say.
Well,
so,
I think for some people
it's everybody who was mad as hell said something, just one thing. You know.
Sure, there'd be a lot more out there echoing around on the web for other people to pick up and find. I completely agree. I think
it's a start. It's a start.
Yeah, I think you're right, and using social media to our advantage and get the word out, it would be a great cause, because the reality is when you're on Twitter and things and you leave messages that are truth related, the masses are kind of like the anti-truth. Your voice is going to get drowned out by these masses. But if more of us went and spoke up about these things, then we'd look like a greater community. And sometimes that's how it is for, a lot of people follow. They're like, oh, wait a minute, a lot of people feel that way. Maybe I should feel that way too. And we don't really want people to be followers, but at least get them thinking.
What's this guy about? That's how I heard about you. Was that I heard a lot of hubbub about it, and I thought, well, what is Gematria? What the hell is this? And then somebody else said, oh, it's a bunch of bullshit. And then I kept hearing about it, so I went over and checked you out.
Well, very cool. So what's the verdict? Is it a bunch of bullshit?
No, I'll tell you, I was the guy when you were on with Adam Green. You made a short video saying that you were going to be on with Adam Green that night.
Right.
And so I went over there and I saw the show. I caught what you were saying, and I was the guy who said, hey, I just tuned into this and I'm catching on. And people are like, well, I can't get it. I'm not a mask guy.
Right.
So I tell people about it, and they say, well, I'm not a mask guy. And I'll say, well, hell, here's a Gematria calculator.
Right.
And then he's got a book out, Then they look at you like you're a retard or something. What, you want me to do math and read too?
Yeah, man. It's that old Bill Hicks joke about being a reader. So yeah.
But it's just don't do like what I did. So I got on YouTube and I made a video. It was pretty hot and heavy. They took it down right away.
Yeah, you got to be careful. I'm so censored compared to how I used to be. I mean, that's the part of the reason this channel's staying up is I don't rant very much. I used to rant all the time. So.
Right. I just put up another channel, and I'm going to start making videos like it's a little softer, kinder, but it's just going to be what I just said. It's going to be, hey, I know what's going on. I don't consent.
Absolutely.
And I think if everybody did that, everybody who's listening, the people that listen to your radio program and stuff, you get a lot of people that are on the same topic, and then a lot of people like that, they can't be ignored.
I agree. We really need to start doing this. It would be very effective. And I'm just looking at Marco Rubio. Supposedly he has 3.67 million viewers. So your comment there could theoretically be viewed by nearly 4 million people.
Right.
Yeah, you make a great point.
Let's do that this evening. Let's everybody do that.
Let's do it right now. I think everybody can open up another, well, maybe not on your phone, but if you can open up another tab and you got a Twitter, send them a tweet right now. I don't consent to, this anti-boycott of Israel crap. So I appreciate.
That's good. Who the hell are they to tell you who you can and cannot boycott?
Right. I mean, is this America or not?
I don't know.
We know it's not. I mean, it's an advertising campaign. We've all been sold a slogan about this nation that we know is not true, especially in 2019.
Correct. The police. I have a friend that's a police officer. He's been a long time. He's my age, 49, going 50. And the way they're training the officers coming into this, they're not peace officers anymore. It is law enforcement. They are training you to approach you as you are guilty already.
Right.
There is no more, we're here to, protect and serve. We're here to enforce.
Absolutely.
And that really troubles the hell out of me.
Absolutely.
And then you just go from there through the local government, the state government, it's, I don't know, I'm getting pissed off just talking about it, but.
Hey, while I got you here, did you hear what I was saying about, buying up a big plot of land and having a community? What do you think about something like that?
Yeah, and that's something that that could be done. You got, it's just like before in communities, you had one person that knew maybe a little bit about mechanics to keep machines running. One person, a couple people that really knew agriculture, and then the people that come in behind and do a lot of the, everybody did the work, but you had someone that was good at something and had something to offer.
Absolutely. I think that would happen if you got a collection of people. I mean, most people have some skill.
Right. I'm a mechanic, been a mechanic 30 years. I know people that are, good with like agriculture, growing things. They've been doing it. They've had gardens, not like a small garden, but very large gardens on their property all their life. That kind of thing. Everybody's good at something.
Right. Right. And if you're not good at something, you can learn from somebody who is when you're part of a community and your new focus is on taking care of your community. So.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. I don't know how well it would take off, but I know in my community here, there's not a lot holding me here.
Right. And I think that's probably true for a lot of people. And if they had a better opportunity and could participate in something like this, it might take off. So.
Right.
Yeah. I think we got to do something like this. I'm just imagining if there was a community like that and they could also figure out how to make a product that would bring revenue in. And then if they were dedicated to truth, I'm just imagining then they take out their truth tour bus and they go to the local city and raise awareness. So things that could come out of it.
Well, that's another thing I want to say is to people that are listening, you can't rely on people like Zach. You can't rely on someone that you're listening to. You've got to get out there and do it yourself. I know people are going to look at you like you're goofy. You might lose friends. You might lose family members over this stuff. They're gonna say you're a nut job and walk away. But you can't rely on someone else. If you're not doing something, then you're part of the problem, not the solution.
Right. Right.
So even if it's just saying something, even if it's just putting out one tweet, putting up one video on YouTube, wearing a shirt that's got a message on it, to maybe start a conversation in public, passing out one of them cards, something. You got to do something.
Absolutely. All right, friend, I really appreciate your call. You make a bunch of great points.
All right. Hey, thank you very much.
All right. Yeah, you take care.
Bye now.
So if you don't have a Twitter, I can't blame you, but it could be used as an information weapon. Well, hold on. Let me take this call here. What's going on, caller?
Zach, it's Rich. I'm sorry to call again, man.
What's up?
I got people in the comments that are supposed to be on our team that's trolling the business card idea, accusing me of making money and ripping them off. I just want people to know it costs $4.99 for shipping. PayPal takes $1, and then they have this thing called sales tax. So people who think that it's a bad idea, why don't they just be quiet about it? If you think it's such a bad idea, just don't say anything.
Well, they're probably trolls, Rich.
What are we gonna do when YouTube takes us all down for
I'm
good?
sure they're trolls. They're probably trolls, man.
We have no platforms for voice. That's why and people like, business cards, that's so 30 years ago. You know what? Or they'll say people will just throw the business cards away. If you have 500 business cards, you don't give them to people who will throw them away. You be a host. You hand them the card and have them promise to look into it. Watch a few videos. Maybe tell them a couple riddles you've taught us, like the 77 riddles.
Right.
There's easy tactics that you can it's chess, not checkers. You gotta be smarter than the people that you're giving the card to. I don't want to take up all the time. I'm just not going to sit here and be trolled by people who are supposed to be on our team.
Well,
so have them enjoy it when the internet takes us all down, and then we have no way to get our voice out. So that's all I got. I'm just sick of seeing people that's supposed to be on our team sitting here burying it.
Well, I see you got a lot of support in the chat right now. I imagine the people who are trolling are trolls. I mean, it's impossible to get on the web this day and age without some trolls here harassing. And I got to be one of the most trolled people on the web, honestly. So.
Well, yeah, but we're getting trolled. I'm getting trolled by the people who is supposed to be on our team. These aren't trolls that are against you. These are people trolling the business card idea.
Well, right. I mean, but they're trolling us, Team Truth over here. So.
I got you. I just wanted to say that so that the people who are on board don't sit here and think I'm some kind of fraud, man. I'm not sitting
They don't.
doing this.
The people I recognize in the chat are all supporting you. So, I mean, I'm sure the people, I didn't see the people who left the comments because I wasn't looking, but I'm sure they're just trolls trying to piss you off. So.
Well, they're doing a good job, Jack. I'm going to go ahead and get off here, brother. And if anyone, to the few people who told me, they're asking questions, to the few people who told me they would indeed buy a box, they're confused on how to get a hold of me again. They think they have to find my name on Facebook. No, they find Daily Dose of Gematria in the search box, and when you go to the page, I have a message box, and me and my admins will all see their message, and we'll contact them right away when we see it.
Perfect. I just linked the Daily Dose of Gematria link in the chat right now for YouTube. I'll post it again just in case people didn't see that. It's there again.
I appreciate it. I'm sorry to take up the time, Zach.
All right, Rich. Don't let these trolls get to you. That's what they're paid to do.
Right, brother.
All right. Take care, man. All right. So in case you just showed up here, I mean, I called a bunch of senators earlier. I even called one I shouldn't have. My bad. But, you know, got the old runaround. And now we're just talking about, I mean, what are we going to do? We live in this nation where our government doesn't represent us. We're second fiddle to Israel. You know, we're lied to every single day. How do we get out from under this tyranny? And that's kind of where the conversation's gravitated to. I'm going to need to get off here pretty soon. I got to go pick up my lady at school. And I do have the radio show tonight, every Wednesday night, tfrlive.com. Somebody called in earlier and said that I need to set an event date and do something. I was supposed to do that for April in DC, and then reality set in. My grandmother got very sick in December, and now she's on her deathbed, and big bills are coming in. You know, the way it's set up in the U.S., when you're dying, big expenses come. Hold on. Caller, you're on. Can you mute your video?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on.
Oh, hey. So I'm calling because, sorry, I just got to come into the other room here. That, you've got me going about, the land and, all the talk about that. So basically, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, my thing is, like, I think a really important part of that, and an important part of, like, just everything, is, like, learning how to, like, gather, like, our own materials, you know? Like, before, like, any big jump is made, I think, like, something to do is to start working on, like, gathering our own materials now, you know? Like how to compress our own gas, like, how to, like, make our own metal, like, how to build machines to make plywood if that's what we wanted. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I think those are all things that could be done in time with the community. Maybe you don't start with that right at the beginning. I think right at the beginning you start with shelter and food, and then from there you just continue to add on to your community and build it up over time. But I do agree, you'd want all those things, absolutely.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm trying to say, though, is to build, like, to learn how to build effective shelters and have effective food without, like, help from anyone else. Like, I could just walk outside and do it with 5 other guys right now.
Sure.
Yeah. So that I just wanted to call and say that in front of people because, you know, that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. You make a great point, and it's something to strive to.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, thanks for everything, pretty much.
Well, you're welcome. And thank you for calling in and letting your voice be heard.
All right, thank you.
All right. Welcome. Okay. So I do got to hit the road here in a second. And honestly, what I should have been doing right now is writing my book, but something needs to be done about this. I don't see enough people talking about what's going on with this Israel thing, and it's a great reminder of what's going on in this nation. So, yeah, it's just the time is now to act. I mean, it's not. I mean, 5 years has gone by like that. You know, I've been doing this for 5 years. I can't believe it's been a lot more than that now. We're getting closer to 6 years, but I don't want to see another 6 years from now. It's going to be even worse. And I mean, in 6 years from now, it's very likely that this doesn't happen anymore. You know, we could be in 6 years from now, it could be like France. Even questioning these things could be a jail sentence. Live from the Washington State Penitentiary, you know, and obviously that's not going to happen. So what I was saying before the last call came in is, yeah, we need to set an event date, and what the caller said is exactly what I plan to do. Show the dates that I plan to be there. I was going to be there the first 2 weeks of April, but now I have these new massive expenses for my grandmother. Unfortunately, there's no one in my family who's making as good a revenue as I am right now, and the revenue for this cause is for this cause, but you know. I don't know. You're supposed to take care of your family, right? So I'm the person who got looked at and said, "Hey, your grandma's got big bills. Let's take care of grandma." So we're taking care of grandma right now. Sadly, she's not going to live much longer, but don't feel too bad. My grandma's definitely ready to go. She's lived a hard life, and I think it'll be a blessing for her to pass on. Honestly. But it's just a reminder of what a joke this nation is too. You live your whole life, and then when you're on your deathbed, everything just costs a fortune because of the way the system's set up. So, I mean, anyway, well, once things are done here with Grandma, we are going to make the DC rally thing happen, and I want to do things besides just the DC rally. What I'd really like to do is just travel from city to city and go to university to university and talk to young people and promote this knowledge and work, and not only just talk to the young people, but while in the city, be like, okay, hey, we're going to rent this warehouse tonight, or this place where you can speak, maybe town hall, or wherever they'll let you go and voice your, get the word out. Probably not town hall, and have people come and meet. And what I'm worried about is, see, what I used to think 5 years ago, because I just been building at this, like trying to make this happen for so long, and the channel started to take off in 2016 and 17, and then it got deleted, and now it's trying to build back up, and now we're on channel 18, and now that I finally have a decent amount of people back here, now YouTube's made it so nobody even gets any notifications for any videos. It's like, how do I get out the message of what's trying to be achieved so that people can actually hear what's going on? I mean, I don't know how to do that without a platform. And, as bad as it is now, it can get a lot worse. If I'm going to announce that I'm going to a city and hoping people show up to listen and share the knowledge and meet people in their community who care, how's that going to happen if, it's squashed so nobody gets the invite or notification? You know what I mean? So there's just so many obstacles. And I don't know. Hopefully the solution comes, or somebody has the brilliant idea out there. Get on True News. I need to look up what True News is. Yeah, an email list. Yeah, an email list is something I should do. You're right. I need to figure out how to set up an email list. Who's going to sign up for the email list, though? Who even checks their email? But yeah, it's still an idea. Okay, I need to figure out how to. Oh, my camera froze again. I'd be happy to speak at your group gathering, but I don't know where you are. So, okay, I'm going to figure out how to do the email list. I think you make a good point. Zach, join all social media sites. Whoa. My phone holder broke there with the vibration. What's up, caller?
Hey, Zach. I back a long time ago, and I had started it was an organization, and it was Life for Youth in my own community. And if people in your group, and they could set it up, they could do all the footwork and get the funds and pay your flight, do everything to get you there, and do all the advertising, and all you got to do is jump on a plane and be there, and let it rip.
Are you in the chat right now as CRC5?
No, I am less is best, and I'm not in there right now, so that I can. I got a one-track mind, honey. I only go one day at a time.
Oh, okay. It's just funny that as you're saying this, somebody in the chat's writing the same thing. So I was just wondering if you're the same person. Well, I'd be happy to do that. I'd love to speak to a live audience, and that's the thing I hate most about doing this now. I mean, even though you're talking to a live audience online, it's not the same as being in a room with people. And I like to be in a room with people, talking to people, in front of people, seeing their actual response. And so where are you at?
I'm in Kansas.
Okay, Kansas. I've never been to Kansas before.
Oh, it's wonderful. And hey, honey, where I'm at, I live in a quote-unquote town that has 15 houses.
Oh, small town.
We got the post office.
Okay.
It's wonderful.
I like small town life.
Pardon me?
I like small town life. My mom grew up in a town just like that in North Dakota.
North Dakota.
Right.
Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah, but no, people could set their own ditty, get it going, and maybe get you a calendar. Say, this week I'm going to be over here. Next time I'm going to be over there. What? So yeah.
That would be very cool. I would like if maybe I should set up that if people can pay for my travel and my stay, I'd be happy to come anywhere and speak. I would love to do that. And even if it's a small group in Kansas, I'd happily come to the town of Kansas. I'd like to record it though, just so we can put it out there and show other people what it's like, how people are responding to it.
Yeah, and you could, and that's the way it ought to be done anyway. People should, help this movement, get this stuff going. People got to know this knowledge. It's got to get out there.
You're right.
So God bless you, and you just, dude, you're so cool, because I'm 58 years old and I watch you, and you're just so soothing, and you just bring such a flood of peace. You're awesome.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for the compliment. I'm glad that I bring you those feelings. So thank you.
Yes.
All right. You have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Somebody was just calling in. I just missed the call. I was going to switch over, but I was a second too late. CRC5. You can reach me right now on this phone number. The number is 509-731-0567. And you can call me even off the live stream. I'll always pick up this phone if I see that it's calling. I keep it on silent. I keep it next to the computer when I'm working, which is most hours of the day. And I pick up every call that I can. So 509-731-0567. But yeah, I would love to do that if people paid for my flight and my expense to accommodations, that would be super helpful. Hi, caller. Can you mute your video?
Okay, I did.
Okay, what's going on?
Nothing much. You need to do a TED Talk.
They're not going to let me on, but I would love to do that.
You'd be surprised. You need to streamline your initial targeted overall view in a 20-minute speech. I
Right.
think you can do that. You're very good at that. You can compact. Because what you can do is streamline your message to a 20-minute talk. And don't think that TED won't invite. They've invited a lot of other controversial people on there, so don't think that you can't. Next time they visit an area near you, you can go online and try to, make yourself known and do it that way. If you got to get your voice out there, you're going to have some opposition. But even if you can't do a TED Talk the way you feel like you can, you should do something in a TED Talk format, like a small town hall with a number of people, and just get a speaking engagement where you charge a nominal fee for people to get in, like $1 or something. Okay, so that way it'll cover your incidental and some of your travel expenses out of pocket.
Right.
So
right.
It's a good way to do that. I mean, you're looking to expand your audience. You're looking to expand your reach beyond your people who follow you and get your work. But that's the way to do it. I would caution you in one thing. Okay, I understand your sentiments about the government. Okay, and I think a lot of people share the frustration and the anger that the principles on which the government supposedly stands for are not only not kept, but not enforced, and it comes across as a sham. And but let me tell you something. That's the way all the way around the world, and it's not an excuse to not change. But this system is unlikely to change, even with the people who stand up and try to make remedies and changes for it. You need to contract out of the system, and you need to think about self-determination as the way to go.
Well, I agree. I think you're probably right about that. That's why I was saying we got to get in the direction of making our own community so that we're outside of this system.
Yeah, self-determination. And the problem with self-determination is that few people know how to do it. And I'm not suggesting that I know how to do it myself, but I know that that's the way to approach. There's a guy on YouTube. His name is I think David Williams. He has a site called Matrix Solutions. Very good place to start. He has a very compelling story, very compelling journey, and he has a lot of resources which to undertake that initiative. Okay, but you need to contract out of the system, and you can contract out of the system peaceably. Okay, because this system's going to entrench itself even more, and the more you get a scope of what's actually happening going on, you'll understand why that is so and why that is probably necessary. Because, as you've often stated and underlined, most people are stupid. They're lazy. They don't care about the deeper things in life and what's actually going on and why.
Right.
And they'd rather be told what to do and herded around like cattle, which is in fact they are, than to think on their own and come up with constructive solutions that actually make life better.
Yeah, I agree. You're right on. Most people seemingly their disposition is to follow. So
yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Most people don't give a fuck. Okay,
right.
But that's their fault. But that's exactly why they have the system of government they do. So you look at it, you're like, something, they deserve that.
Right.
But people who are more integrated and more far-reaching and think about the deeper things in life and are willing to take the initiative to do it, your only choice long-term is to contract out of the system if you disagree with it, and go to self-determination route. But you can do that in peace. You don't have to fight, be in dishonor, and raise your fist up against the government, because they'll squash you. And they love doing that. Don't give them an excuse to do it before you get off the ground. That's all I'm saying.
Right. No, you're right on. You make a lot of great points. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Keep up the good work.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate your call. And Casey in the chat, I see what you said. I would love to be interviewed one day in my story about human trafficking and MK Ultra. I would love to have you on my podcast, my radio show. Again, the number to call me, here, I'll just write in the chat, 509-731-0567. And if I missed anybody's comment today that I should have saw, I apologize. I've been trying to read as many as I could. And CRC5, you don't have to call me now, but I would love to come wherever you are and speak. It's been a while since I did that. Done it a few times in Seattle. And be nice to meet some new people and share the knowledge. All right, guys, I do got to wrap this up right now. For people who want to get a hold of me, you know where to call. If I don't pick up, you can send a text message. You can keep calling back until I do. I will pick up the phone when I have the phone in front of me. I don't carry this phone on my person though. I just keep it next to the computer, and I answer it when I'm doing my work. Igor says, "What's the best way to show his normal friends this code? He sounds crazy when he talks about this stuff." You know, Igor, I mean, your reality is the same for most of us. Most people, as logically as we can explain this, they'll think it's crazy. Here's something you can show people that's not controversial, that's just cool. Here, let me queue up. Oh, let's see if we can load it on the first try today. Of course we can. If you guys are having this problem with Gematria, you just got to keep refreshing until it works. Let's see. Here's 4, 5. This 5 is the 1. All right, we got there. So look, just with the alphabetic order, you know, just put away your other ciphers. Just show them the alphabetic order. Everyone understands A through 1 up to Z is 26. It's easy to explain. Actually, show them the alphabetic order and the reverse alphabetic order. You know, explain A is 1 up to Z is 26. And then there's another cipher where you just run the alphabetic order in reverse. Z is 1 back to A is 26. And show them this, that if you write out geometry, it sums to 108 in both directions. Because there's something that can be explained very easily that's scientifically verifiable and makes a lot of sense. So this practice of coding numbers into words, gematria or gematria, it means geometry in language. That's what it means. And this number 108 has a lot to do with what we're told about the Earth, the sun, and the moon. And in your science book, whether you believe it or not, it says the sun, its diameter. What it is the distance of 108 Earths across. So the diameter of the Earth times 108 is the diameter of the sun. And they say from the sun to the Earth is the diameter of 108 suns. So 108 suns side by side. That's how far it is from the sun to the Earth. And from the Earth to the moon is the diameter of 108 moons side by side. Also, geometry 108, just look at the number and think about it in terms of geometry class. Anybody who's taken geometry class remembers graphing lines and measuring circles. 1 is a line, right? When you draw a 1 on a piece of paper, it's a line. A 0's a lot like a circle, and an 8 is 2 circles. So you have that. And then geometry is all about symmetry. You have this perfect symmetry within the word when you run the alphabetic order forwards and in reverse. Now, in light of geometry, everybody remembers pi. So you can lose your reverse cipher here. Everybody remembers pi. The mathematical shorthand for getting to pi is doing 22 divided by 7. If you do that in a calculator, here, get out a calculator. 22 divided by 7 is the mathematical approximation of pi. That's what mathematicians use to get to pi very quickly. If you write it out in language, 22 divided by 7 is 314. And of course, a circle has 360 degrees. Look at what happens when you write out 360. It equals 227. Like how 22 divided by 7 is pi. And, you know, I think a lot of people, if they look at this, they'll be like, wow, that is crazy. And then you can show them things like how mathematics equals 112. I mean, what's 1 + 1 = 2? So if I was going to do a TED Talk, I would probably start with something like that, you know? And then there's a few other juicy details you could spice it up. You could have a slide of all the places in the world 108 shows up. You could say, do you think sports are scripted by this code? How about when the Cubs broke the 108-year drought in the 112th World Series? And there's 108 double stitches on a baseball. Or there's a lot of different directions you could go with it, you know? You could even say, hey, when the Cubs broke the 108-year drought and there is 108 double stitches on a baseball, they broke it against the 216 area code Cleveland. And what's 108 doubled? 216? But there's just so many ways you can go with it to introduce this to people. And I think that's a really good place to start. So if you want to show them another thing about the alphabetic order and the reverse alphabetic order, you can show them that English language is 142 with the alphabetic order. And then when you flip the alphabetic order around, Gematria is 142. And you can also just show them that using the same cipher, English and Gematria are both 74, plus a whole lot of other things. It's occult knowledge, 74. It's from Jewish mysticism, Kabbalah. You know, it's a Masonic code. You can show them the thing about holiday and Independence Day in 74 and all that. So there's some ways you can go about introducing the knowledge without making people go. Because, I mean, if you start with a topic, like if you just come at them out of left field and show them that sports are rigged this way, they're probably not going to take to it. If you show them that, you know, people are murdered this way, well, it depends on who you're talking to. Some people might get it. You know, you show them the song Murder by Numbers came out in 83. The movie poster changes the E to a 3 and the B to an 8. Murder's 83. I mean, so it depends on who you're talking to. But I would start with a topic that's not controversial. And then, of course, if somebody's into September 11th, you can show them the whole 77 thing. And it just depends on who you're talking to. But I'd always just start with something like the geometry example, because who's going to get offended by that? Hey, we're at 227 likes. I like it. Okay, you guys, I do got to go. I'll be back tonight for the radio show, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. Hey, Chigozie Truth's in the chat. Be sure to subscribe to Chigozie Truth. He does the Gematria thing, does a great job. If you guys don't know about my radio show, tfrlive.com. Every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. You know, my mug will be up here. You'll just click listen live. And it's a lot like this podcast. All right, you guys, be back tomorrow. Be sure to sign up for that Patreon. I need 10,000 members at $1. Then I can hire some people. We can start the Gematria News Network. $1 a month can go a long ways. Until next time.